A decision about ceding our national sovereignty to a one-world government is likely to be made by political leaders, not we the voters. Even if we were offered a voice by voting, we already saw what happened to votes cast in the 2020 presidential election when the left deliberately, if not illegally, designed the outcome thereof. And despite the claims of the offenders, there was plenty of evidence concerning the many ways the Democrats benefited from a questionable election designed to manipulate the outcome, and more was discovered by forensic audits as time went on. Even Dinesh D'Souza managed to uncover the illegalities in the election in his documentary movie, 2000 Mules. But it was largely ignored by the government, especially since the current government benefited therefrom. It's been said that the suspicious Dominion voting machines were rigged to change votes to favor Biden over Trump in the 2020 election. Isn't it a bit too coincidental that in 2019 the Communist People's Republic of China financially captured certain collateral of Dominion voting systems, i.e., patents given in 2019 to a Chinese bank for collateral? To paraphrase the comment made in a 1923 meeting of the Russian Politburo, Joseph Stalin is alleged to have said,
"Those who vote decide nothing. Those who count the votes decide everything."
Whether Stalin said that or not is unimportant. It is nonetheless true, and our 2020 election proved it. We are also already experiencing a dissolving of our constitutional rights by unscrupulous people, and since the First and Second Amendments have been under attack by the left for decades, it's not hard to believe the same politicians who decry the most basic of American freedoms would give up our national sovereignty by justifying it under the aegis of some artificially manufactured catastrophe or crisis du jour. Manufacturing crises is what they do. For example, in the Heller case, District of Columbia v. Heller, at the Supreme Court, the Democrats were one vote away from dissolving the right to keep and bear arms. 4 justices were for it. 4. But it's going to take a lot more than 4 leftist justices to overturn the Constitution, and any attempt to confiscate the tens of millions of firearms in the hands of Americans could be the spark that ignites something the whole country would regret. By doing so, the Democrats would also have to contend with the 14th Amendment in addition to the Second Amendment. The High Court is a target for leftist activists, especially since it's somewhat of a lawmaking body, which means it can make everybody bend to its will. Ergo, the efforts to control who sits on the bench of the Supreme Court. For example, Ketanji Brown Jackson, one of Biden's Supreme Court appointees, and a woman who couldn't define what a woman is despite being one, was a name given to Biden to nominate to the court. We all know she's a flaming liberal who was criticized for being soft on crime. Of course, she, like all Democrats, deflects and denies her culpability. According to Glenn Beck, her name was given to Biden because she is a radical leftist, and she filled all the check boxes the left champions. E.g., she was black, liberal, and female, and Biden's ideal court appointee since he said he was going to put the first black female on the court. In case you don't know about civil rights, his action in this case was illegal because federal hiring is not supposed to include criteria such as race and gender. But Biden and his lefty loonies don't care about the Constitution or our laws. Remember that Obama staffed the government with communists. Now Biden has been stuffing various important judicial positions with radical leftists. That could be why certain people were willing to spend $1 billion to put Biden into the White House. It's more than jobs or equal opportunity at stake. It's a nation and its entire population. The method for changing our founding document is mapped out in detail in the Constitution. But not only is there a specific pathway involving Congress, but the states have to agree to any change as well. Under the color of protecting people from those evil old guns, they believe the safety of a few outweighs the constitutional rights of the masses. At least that's the theory. But in truth, they simply want to disarm America so law-abiding people can't fight back against the tyrannical government they have in mind. Remember Obama's statement in Missouri in 2008? We are only 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. People cheered without knowing what the hell he meant. Our first defense against the abolition of one of our most important constitutional rights should look something like this. If politicians want to disarm America under the aegis of saving people from deaths by gun violence, let's not forget all the deaths that happen at the hands of others using knives, baseball bats, tire irons, garrotes, and in the case of Jeffrey Epstein, a necktie, or any other possibility including bare hands. Samson killed a lot of Philistines with the jawbone of an ass. If in the interest of public safety, we start abolishing jawbones and asses, who would be left in Congress to pass laws or debate about anything? Here's another take on it. If members of Congress are so concerned with the safety of the people and believe they have the right to do anything they want to protect us all by taking away guns from law-abiding citizens and hunters, why is the current administration violating our immigration laws by importing foreigners from all over the world to flood into the country when it is known that 20% are carrying problematic diseases including COVID and more than 100 people who are on the terrorist watch list who got caught blending in with the rest of the migrant caravans along with convicted murderers, rapists, and child molesters? It's been said that other countries emptied out their prisons and insane asylums to send them to America because of Biden's open borders. The same thing happened in Jimmy Carter's Democrat administration when Castro sent the dregs of Cuban society to America in what was called the Mariel Boat Lift. Tens of thousands were hardened criminals, and by 1985, hundreds were in jail in Dade County, Florida, with millions of migrants flooding into America because of Biden. This may be history repeating itself. And let's not forget the Chinese nationals coming across the border who are likely intent on espionage. Let's drag up old Sun Tzu again and remember what he said, because it seems to comport with China's approach to their self-declared war against us. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. So, with that in mind, we can understand why they are studying in our universities, working in our corporations, buying up farmland near our military bases, sending spies across our border and spy balloons across our skies, and our political leaders, the ones who we trust to protect us and maintain our territorial integrity, are asleep at the switch.